Okay, so I'm recording now. Shelly, it's such a pleasure to have you on for our pre-event for the first Startup Grind New Orleans event of 2021. We're still in virtual format this year. We're going to be kind of transitioning back to the normal in-house eventually, and we might even try for our meeting to have it as a mix, half and half. But we're still kind of waiting to see what goes on with COVID right now. But
real meetings.
Yes, I am forward to being able to meet people again in person, and that's actually the main reason that I wanted to have you on is because I've had a lot of people talk to me about applying for positions during the pandemic and doing virtual job applications. And so how do you interact with people on a Zoom meeting when you're applying for a job? A lot of people tell me that they fail at that. They are qualified, but they just blow the interview. And so since you have such a vast time in front of the camera, I wanted to see if we could get any pointers from you. So I was going to ask you a little bit about your background. Could you just tell us, about yourself and about your business?
Yes. I am a style coach. I'm a wardrobe consultant, a personal fashion stylist. So all of the above fits what I do. And my background is in television news. So being on camera really leans into the Zoom stuff, right? I get it. Mm-hmm. Right now I'm staring into the little black dot that is our camera. And I don't know if you can notice, because I'm asked this all the time, do I stare at the black dot or do I look at you on my screen? Do you see a difference when I look at you and when I look at the black dot?
It's a little bit, but you can tell. I know myself. I typically look down a lot of times. I have many little I guess quirks that come out. And so, what's some of the advice that you tell people, before they go on to the interview, what are some of the things that they should do in prep for that?
Well, first of all, don't worry about that looking into the black dot thing, because it is so close to your screen, it's almost imperceptible. Mm-hmm. When I was in television, right, the camera guy was across from me and I would have to look into the camera lens. Now that was a distance. You could really tell if I wasn't looking into the camera lens. So don't stress about that one. And notice my body language right now with you, Jim. I'm leaning in. Mm-hmm. I'm filling your scope with Shelly. This does a few things. Mm-hmm. Our backgrounds matter on Zoom. Do not do this in your bedroom. If I'm not sleeping with you, I don't need to see your bed. And to be fair, right, a lot of us have families and this is the only quiet place in the whole house that we can have a moment. If that's the case, let your closet door be your background. Don't fall into that moment of intimacy. Your living room, your kitchen, your private places, those are intimate places not fit for your business and not fit for an interview. Because let me tell you, I'm nosy as hell. I'm looking at your background. I didn't hear a word you just said. What's that back there? So pay attention to your background. It really, really matters. Your body language needs to be different on a camera. Like theater will tell you, everything's explosive in theater. Be a little more explosive on camera. Be a little more lean in, Wear a little more makeup. Maybe not you, but shave your face.
I am shaved.
Shave your face. And if a man wears a beard, shave your neck. Clean that up. Clean up your eyebrows. Clean up your ear hair. Our cameras are all HD these days. Thanks a lot for nothing. Because we see hair. We don't need to see.
Yeah. How about things like green screens and backgrounds? Is it worth it to?
They're hard to manipulate unless you're in a professional, the weatherman is in front of a green screen every single time, right? But that's very professionally done. A lot of times our green screens in front of a palm tree and stuff like that, we look like we're not in space, you know? It's whack. Don't bother. Your camera can't keep up. Your computer doesn't have the power to keep up. Don't do that to yourself. Unless you have no blank wall or door to be in front of, unless you're in your bedroom and all I'm going to see is your bed, don't bother with the screens. They're just more trouble than they need to be. You got enough going on. Enough's enough. Yeah. We haven't even talked about what you're wearing.
True. So how do you dress typically for an interview?
Overdress. Always. I mean, unless you're going for a really cool marketing firm or you're going to be a tattoo artist or something like that, right? Be more conservative than you would think. You're perfect in that you're wearing a collar and a button-down shirt and it's pressed. Don't wear a t-shirt. Do not wear what you slept in last night, because I know. Don't wear anything with pattern. The camera doesn't like that. It can't quite focus and you kind of look like you're shimmery. And men's shirts come in a lot of really cool pattern on pattern, and they're real tiny dots, real tiny checks. They're fabulous in real life, but the camera doesn't like them. Go for solid, go for color, a richly, deeply saturated color, and you just come alive. That lens just soaks it up. So give it to it. Give it orange and blue and green and red, and give it. You're in a lighter minty kind of green, and I'm in a chambray blue. And even that the camera loves. Try not to wear white. Try not to wear, checks and gingham and polka dots. Crazy couch floral patterns.
So the behavior on an interview, the thing that I have a lot of people ask is that they if you're in a room with somebody, you can read body language really easy a lot of times. But on an interview, it's really hard to gauge that body language of a person. And so do you have any tips there on how to convey yourself over the screen? I know you said, exaggerate your movements like what I'm doing now. But,
yeah.
Any other?
Yes. Speak in sound bites. Like a 15-second sound bite is perfect. It conveys your thought, and then close your mouth. Wait for the response from the person on the other side. That ensures they're engaged. That ensures they're hearing you. And you are performing for this interview, right? This is your show, baby. Own it. Make them respond back to you, and do so by closing your mouth. Answer the question and do that really uncomfortable thing.
Okay, that really does make sense, because I can't tell you how many times I end up like no, you go first. No, you go first, and you end up talking over somebody, and it becomes really awkward. Again, I understand that.
And don't be too nervous about the talking over each other. I mean, we are on Zoom, right? It's not the perfect mousetrap sort of thing. So sometimes we do tend to just not quite get it right. But if you're speaking and knowing that when you're done speaking, you stop and you kind of give that pregnant pause, which is very uncomfortable for a lot of people. So own it, baby. Lean into it. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it lets you pace your interview. And more importantly, it lets you know they're listening, because they're going to have to do something to fill in that space. So you are engaged and you're on track, and the other thing I was going to say is ask for feedback. Is that a good answer? Is that what you're looking for? Are we seeing this the same way? This is, you want this to be the perfect fit for you too, whatever this job is. So ask, are we good? Are you getting what you need from me? Own it a little bit. Shoulders up. You're on. This is your show.
How about, for an interview, how long should they last on a Zoom call, do you think?
I don't know. In real life, mine usually lasts 30 minutes tops, right? After that, you've really got it covered, unless there's something exceptional going on. So if you're doing a good Zoom back and forth, 20 to 30 minutes, let that be enough. They're going to get you a feel. They're going to know if you're for them, and you're going to know if they're for you. So take that 20 to 30 minutes to be a good sign. If they talk to you for 10, I don't think you're going to get that job.
I understand. Yeah. You know, I guess that even though they're interviewing you, they're probably just as uncomfortable as you are on a Zoom interview.
Good point.
Because so again, this is so new. I've gotten so many questions about, you know, just the formatting on this. You know, and again, think little things like, and we can go through this in the big interview that we're going to do for our fireside chat. So I don't want to spoil everything for the audience, but you know, should you use a camera that's on the computer or buy a camera? Do you have to have lighting? You know, all of those types of things that you know, you don't really, you know, you've got to control your environment in the interview. And you've got to think about, you know, what's in your background. Is this going to be something that, you know, says professional to this job, or is it going to, you know, say I'm not really interested in this, or I haven't thought this through.
Absolutely. You check that box beautifully. All your preparation will sing loudly. I can give a care if this happens for me or not, or I am very invested. I mean, if you wear a shirt, a professional shirt, and you're in shorts on the bottom, your head is not in the game. It's just not, you know, because I promise you, you're going to stand up. The cat's going to come in the room. Something's going to happen behind you. You're going to fix, and you're going to stand up, and they're going to see you in your shorts. I promise. It happens all the time. Yeah. Dress top to bottom. Even put shoes on. Even wear your shoes. It puts your head in that space, right? It really does. As far as the camera, like I said, our computers are pretty advanced these days. That camera's going to pick up plenty. Don't invest in a camera. Lighting matters greatly. Right now it's 4 p.m, actually 3 p.m, because we just had
daylight savings,
right? And all my windows are open and it's pretty bright. I think you see me well. I see you well. Your lighting's really good. If it was 2 hours from now, I better have a light on me. And in television, they will shine a light, I mean, like the sun in your eyes kind of thing. And it's uncomfortable as hell. Don't go that far. But make sure you set up a light, even if it's a lamp, and tilt it so that light is really on you, because the camera loves your light and it will absorb it and it will keep the shadows off of you. The light should be coming straight at you. Remember telling stories when you were a little kid and you've shown the flashlight under your chin?
Yes, yes.
Don't do that, because you'll look like Scary Monster. Right? And if the light is coming above and hitting you this way, every shadow, your nose is going to look huge. Your eyes are going to be casting shadow. Light straight on, like sun in your eyes, to the extent that you can stand it. That's the best kind of light.
Excellent. Really great advice, Shelly. I cannot wait. I think that, you know, I think this is enough for the, you know, the teasers that we want to put out. So I'll start to kind of wrap up, but I really great advice, Shelly. I just cannot wait for the full, you know, hour session that we're going to have. I know a lot of our audience is going to have a ton of questions for you. I'm really interested to really dig into and hear about your career and your transition from, you know, working in the news field to becoming your own entrepreneur. And I think your story there is going to be really incredible for people. That's, you know, one of the, you know, big parts of Startup Grind is inspiring people that want to take that leap for entrepreneurship. And, you know, every time I talk to one of our entrepreneurs in the city, it really just makes me, it reminds me again that you can do this. Yeah. You don't have to get in that rut that you were in, and you don't have to settle.
Agreed. Good way to say it. You do not have to settle. And many of us do. You know, there's something called the golden handcuffs, the paycheck. It's a beautiful thing when it comes in every 2 weeks, right? Scary to leave. It is. But there's a point where you say, there's no money in the world that's going to make this okay. I'm so miserable. I'm no longer settling. Usually that's the breaking point for a lot of entrepreneurs. I wonder if you would agree in talking to all of them that you do.
Not only from personal experience, but from so many other entrepreneurs that I've talked with. Yeah, it's one of those things that it almost pushes you out the door.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think that's, we've been on for about 20 minutes, and I think this is, I really think this is going to sound great. I'm going to chop it up into, 15-second, 20-second sound bites, and I'm going to add the bumpers on the side of it and put 2 or 3 of them together, and I'll send it to you in a file, let you take a look at them, and then I'll start posting them up on social media.
Exciting.
Okay, I am too. I really am. And we're going to have to get a shout out to Jack Rainier on this, because Jack was the one that suggested this.
Love him.
And so, Jack's one of those behind the scenes connectors.
Oh yeah.
Like he doesn't do it outright, but he kind of puts that bug in your ear, like, you really ought to do this.
Oh yeah.
And so.
Oh yeah. And sometimes he does it outright. I have gotten.
Sometimes he does.
I mean, Jack equals money for me, literally, positively. Right. And that's
no. He's really successful, and again, I want to hear his life story on here one day soon too. That's coming up hopefully this year.
He's got such a cool story.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's everything. And again, thanks for the time, and I'm glad everything worked this time.
Yes. I'm excited. Thanks for doing this.
I am too. This is going to be a lot of fun. They always are. They are so much fun when we do them, and you'll be amazed at how involved the crowd gets with this a lot of times.
That's
my
best.
favorite part. Yep. Okay. Well, I'll catch up with you again soon. We'll set a date on email, and we'll get everything ready.
Done. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.